Every so often, something comes along that changes the way we see the world. In the world of military technology, that something is now called LUCAS. LUCAS stands for the Low-Cost Uncrewed Combat Attack System. It's a small, simple drone with a big job to strike enemy targets cheaply and efficiently. Instead of spending millions on one weapon, the United States military can now send out swarms of LUCAS drones for just $35,000 each. That's a revolution on the battlefield. Why does LUCAS matter? Because it shifts the power balance. In wars today, being able to send out many drones at once can overwhelm even the best defenses. LUCAS gives the United States a powerful new tool, one that is both affordable and smart. It's a weapon built for modern warfare, where speed and numbers matter as much as strength. The arrival of LUCAS shows how quickly technology can change the rules. Only a few years ago, this kind of drone was rare. Now, thanks to clever design and American engineering, it's ready for action. The United States military is betting big on LUCAS, and for good reason. As we dig deeper, you'll see how LUCAS came to be, what it can do, and why it may be the future of combat. It's a story of invention, imitation, and a race to stay ahead in a dangerous world. The story of LUCAS starts far from American soil, with a drone called the Shahed-136. The Shahed-136 is an Iranian attack drone that made headlines for its low cost and deadly efficiency. United States officials saw its success in recent conflicts and realized, if our enemies can make cheap, effective drones, so can we. That's when the hard work of reverse engineering began. Reverse engineering means taking apart a device to see how it works, then building your own version. Engineers studied the Shahed-136 carefully. They looked at its wings, engine, and how it carried explosives. The goal was to make something similar, but better, and made in the USA. There were challenges. The original Shahed-136 used parts that weren't always easy to find in America. So, the team found new ways to build the same kind of drone with local materials. They also added a few upgrades, making LUCAS more reliable and easier to produce. By learning from the Shahed-136, the United States military could jump ahead in drone warfare. Instead of starting from scratch, they took a proven idea and made it their own. LUCAS is proof that sometimes, the best ideas come from watching what others do, and then doing it better. Designing LUCAS wasn't just about copying another drone, it was about building something tough, simple, and fast to make. The engineers focused on keeping everything as basic as possible. Fancy electronics? Not needed. Expensive engines? Forget it. Every part was chosen for one reason, to keep costs low and production high. To develop LUCAS, teams worked around the clock. They built prototypes, tested them, and went back to the drawing board when things didn't work. The process was quick. There was no time to waste. The goal was to get LUCAS into the hands of soldiers as soon as possible. One key feature of LUCAS is its modular design. This means that parts can be swapped in and out easily, making repairs simple. If a drone is damaged, it isn't a big deal. Just fix it or replace it, and get back to work. This approach makes the entire drone system more flexible. At the end of the day, LUCAS is a good enough weapon. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. That's what makes it perfect for modern wars, where speed and numbers matter more than high-tech tricks. LUCAS proves that sometimes, simple really is better. LUCAS might be small, but it's built to make a big impact. Most LUCAS drones are about 11 feet long, with a wingspan of roughly 8 feet. They look a bit like oversized model airplanes, with a simple body and straight wings. They're painted in dull colors, helping them blend into the sky. The engine sits at the back, pushing the drone forward with a loud buzz. It's not stealthy, but it doesn't need to be. LUCAS is designed to fly low and fast, hugging the ground as it races toward its target. Its single-use design means it's meant to be used once, delivering its explosive payload and then crashing into the target. Inside, there's not much to see. A small navigation system, a basic explosive warhead, and the engine, that's about it. The drone doesn't need cameras or fancy sensors for its mission. It's all about getting from point A to point B as cheaply and reliably as possible. This simple design is what makes LUCAS so effective. It's light enough to launch from almost anywhere, but strong enough to carry a deadly punch. When you see a LUCAS up close, you realize just how much can be done with a few key parts and a lot of smart engineering. One of the most impressive things about Lucas is its price. At just $35,000 per drone, it's affordable enough to use in large numbers. That's a huge change from traditional weapons, which can cost hundreds of thousands or even millions each. With Lucas, the military can get more bang for their buck. Why does this matter? Because wars are expensive. Every time a missile is launched or a tank is rolled out, it costs money. With Lucas, commanders can send out dozens or even hundreds of drones for the price of one fancy missile. That means more targets can be hit and fewer resources are wasted. The low price also means that losing a Lucas isn't a big deal. If one drone is shot down, there are plenty more where that came from. This changes the way battles are fought. Instead of worrying about losing expensive equipment, soldiers can focus on the mission. In the end, the $35,000 price tag is what makes Lucas a true game changer. It gives the military a powerful new tool without breaking the bank. That's a big deal in today's world, where every dollar counts. When you compare Lucas to older weapons, the difference is, well, pretty clear. Traditional missiles, like the Tomahawk, can cost over $1 million each, and fighter jets, those are even pricier, often running into tens of millions of dollars. With those kinds of costs, commanders have to think carefully before using them. But Lucas changes that equation entirely. With cheap drones like Lucas, the military can act faster and, honestly, take more risks. If a target pops up, a Lucas can be in the air within minutes. There's no need for long planning or expensive support. The drone does its job and the mission just moves on. It's quick, simple, and effective. Traditional weapons are still important, but they just can't match the flexibility of drones. Lucas can go places that big jets and missiles can't. It can sneak through gaps in enemy defenses, fly low to avoid radar, and strike with precision, all for a fraction of the cost. And this isn't just about saving money, it's about fighting smarter. Lucas lets the military do more with less. That's a lesson every army in the world is learning fast. When it comes to war, numbers matter. If you can build a lot of something quickly, you've got a big advantage. That's where Lucas really shines. Its simple design and low cost mean it can be made by the thousands. Factories can turn out Lucas drones faster than ever before. Mass production means the military always has drones ready to go. If some are lost in battle, replacements are already on the way. This constant supply keeps pressure on the enemy and gives commanders more options. It's really all about having enough tools for any job. Cheap, mass-produced drones also make it harder for the enemy to defend themselves. Shooting down one or two is easy, but what about dozens coming at once? Lucas can overwhelm even the most advanced air defenses. This swarm tactic is changing how wars are fought. In the end, being able to make a lot of drones cheaply is a huge advantage. It gives the US military the power to control the skies and door den dinger. Baban ding dan ding day. Drones like Lucas are more than just new weapons. They're actually changing the very nature of warfare. In the old days, battles were fought with tanks, planes, and soldiers on the ground. Now computers and unmanned machines are taking over. Commanders can send out drones from far away, keeping soldiers out of harm's way. This shift is happening fast. Countries all over the world are building their own cheap attack drones. The goal is always the same: to strike quickly, surprise the enemy, and keep costs low. Lucas is America's answer to this new kind of war. Drones also make war less predictable. They can appear anywhere, at any time. They can hit targets that are hard to reach with normal weapons. This forces armies to rethink everything, from defenses to tactics. The rise of drones like Lucas marks a real turning point. It's not just about hardware. It's about using technology to stay one step ahead. In this new battlefield, those who adapt fastest will win. So, what does the future hold? With Lucas, it's clear that cheap, powerful drones are here to stay. The military is already planning ways to use them in bigger, smarter ways. Imagine hundreds of Lucas drones flying together, working as a team, hitting dozens of targets at once. That's the future of warfare. But it's not just about making more drones, it's about making them smarter. Engineers are looking at ways to add better navigation, new kinds of explosives, and even ways for drones to talk to each other. The goal is to make Lucas more effective without raising the price. Lucas could also inspire new tactics. With so many cheap drones, armies might use swarm attacks to overwhelm defenses or sneak attacks to surprise the enemy. The sky's the limit, literally. In the end, Lucas is more than just a drone. It's a symbol of how fast technology is moving and how the rules of war are changing. One thing is certain, the future will belong to those who can build, adapt, and act faster and smarter than anyone else.